And how did you get to know Nicolas?
So here's the fun part.
Yeah.
He's my uncle.
Welcome to Bonfire Conversations. I'm Hamid Reza Nikofar, and my guest today is Julian Winding, the Danish composer and electronic artist best known for his work on Nicolas Winding Refn's The Neon Demon and Copenhagen Cowboy. With his breakout track The Neon Dance in 2016 for The Neon Demon, starring Elle Fanning and Keanu Reeves, Julian immediately drew international attention for a sound that was hypnotic, unsettling, and unforgettable. Since then, he has continued to establish himself as a distinctive voice in music, blending electronic textures with emotional intensity and expanding his work from record to film and television. Over the course of this conversation, we discuss his childhood in Denmark, England, and artistic influences that shaped his worldview. His collaboration with his uncle, Nicolas Winding Refn, scoring for movies, his interest in gaming, and his creative process, plus exciting news about his upcoming projects. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to Bonfire Conversations for more deep, creative, and inspiring conversations like this. Bonfire Conversations is available on YouTube and all the major podcast streaming services. Thank you so much. This is my conversation with Julian Winding.
We finally made it.
Indeed. Jesus Christ. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm doing great. The entire week I was so hyped and happy about it. I mean, it's been a while since we known each other, but we never had the chance to really sit down and talk. And like, you're one of the kindest people I've known. Seriously, I'm always checking on me during difficult times and genuinely care. Like, thank you so much for this, really.
Mate, the pleasure is mine, like right back at you. You're such a lovely guy, and I'm glad that we stayed in contact, and I'm really glad we're doing this as well. I've been looking forward to it, and we finally managed to pull it off, you know, like it's fantastic.
Great. Yeah. I think let's start with this. Let's start the podcast with this. I want to ask you, in a world where every day we see more separation, despite being more connected than ever in history, thanks to the internet.
Yeah.
But we see more separation. What inspires you to be this way, to care about someone's emotional state and well-being, even someone you haven't met in person?
I don't know. I mean, it seems for me like it's a given. You should do that. Like, I know there are some people who like to, what do we call them, the glass half empty kind of guys who like probably maybe assume the negative before the positive. But I don't know. I don't really like living like that. Until someone gives me a reason to not like them or something, then I don't see why I shouldn't treat other people with some respect and you know. And I also know, like, you guys were going through some stuff, you know, so naturally it's like, holy shit, how's he doing, like, is he okay? And it was a pretty natural way to go, I think.
For those who I don't know, I live in Iran, and Julian, for like 3 years or 4 years, anything fucked up happened here, Julian email me, are you all right, mate?
Yeah, you haven't been too lucky, you guys, as far as over here, you know. So, of course, I had to make sure you're all right and everything. Yeah,
I mean, during these times, you understand how kind some people truly are, you know. And I mean, I'm doing these interviews. I've been doing them for a while, and especially like past 3 months ago, there was this war between Iran and Israel, and it was so horrifying. And so many of my guests on the podcast, I thought they forgot about me. They emailed me, "Are you all right?" This was so nice. I mean, going through some tragedies like this, you understand the goodness of life as well.
Oh yeah, I can certainly imagine. Like, I can't even imagine what you guys have been going through. You know, it's so. Yeah,
but thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm curious about your childhood. Tell me about where did you grow up and what drew you toward music in such a way that you made it your career and you're so fucking good at it. So what happened? Tell me about everything about past.
Yeah, well, I mean, the actually, you know, because I'm Danish. I'm born Danish, but me and my parents, we actually moved to England when I was like, I think like 4 or 5 years old, plus minus. So that's why I'm so posh when I speak English. You know, like I've got that really irritating North London accent. You know, it's really like, but yeah. And I think I mean, I had the luxury of my father's a musician, was a lifelong musician, so there was a lot of like natural ways into that, so to speak. Started learning instruments young and things like that. And I don't know, maybe everyone feels the same way, but when I look back at the time, you know, when I was like in my teens and stuff like that in England was going through this incredible time with, you know, with Britpop and trip hop, you know, everything from Oasis to Massive Attack to, you know, The Prodigy, like on the harder side and stuff. There was this whole revolution going on, you know, Faithless in the electronic music scene, you know, like it was pretty fucking amazing. So I swear a lot, just so you know.
No, it's all right.
So that's okay.
There's no filter.
I can't help it. It's just,
yeah.
But it was such a fucking great cooking, like melting pot of different music and really high quality music. And sort of genre defining and all that. And I was sort of young when all this was being smashed into my ears and all that stuff. So it was very easy to be inspired, I think, at that time. Yeah.
And did your career took off when you were in London?
No, it didn't actually. So it's actually started when I moved back to Denmark. I think I was like 19, 20 years old. And actually back then, I had no idea I'd be doing electronic music. You know, I wanted to be a rock star, you know, like.
No way. Wow.
You know, so it was all like lots of smashing on drums, guitars and headbanging and all that stuff. So yeah, it looked a bit different back then, to be honest. Wow. But it started in rock music, like in a rock band.
Yeah. And do you think, like, which culture had more effect when you look back at it, at your the way you make music or the whole identity of your music, the culture that you grew up past your teenagehood in Denmark, or before that in London?
I think the most powerful one. It's probably still England. I think you know, when I write songs or if I write soundtrack music, I'm a huge fan of like melancholy. It's really my thing, and I like the way that I guess they still do, you know, a lot. That the English, you know, they really implement melancholy into everything, even if it's like a happy, so to speak, love song. There's a sense of melancholy in there, you know, a sense of what's the word? It's fragile, you know. And I think Danish is also has it, but it's a very different kind of thing. It's more controlled. It's more thought out, and the English one's more free flowing melancholy. So I would say it's probably the English side that stuck with me.
I mean, the first time I heard your work was in the Neon Demon with the Demon Dance. I mean, that's a huge song. I was blown away by that scene and the music. Then I checked out your other work, and it was one banger after another. I mean, go to Spotify, man. It's crazy there. I was hoping, and back then I was hoping you'd do more films. I was like, oh man, I hope he goes all in, make more film music. And lucky for us, you did, especially with one of my favorite directors of all time, Nicolas Winding Refn. Tell me about that transition. Was it always on your radar, making music for films, or did you just stumble into it?
That's it. I did actually stumble into it. I mean, it's his fault, really. It's partly his fault because he invited me onto, you know, the Neon Demon, and then that, as a result, people who liked the film would then write to me and be like, "Hey, we heard your track. Would you be interested in maybe doing some music for other stuff?" So, I mean, that really helped, and I also worked with him on the series Copenhagen Cowboy. I don't know.
Amazing. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, all right. Yeah. It was kind of stumbling into it, but in a way, I feel like, God, maybe I should always have done this, because I love writing classical music, you know, string arrangements and big feelings up and down, you know. So I feel really at home here. Like I love doing soundtracks. It's really. Wow.
And how did you get to know Nicolas?
So here's the fun part.
Yeah,
he's my uncle.
get the. I knew that you were related to me. The last, but uncle, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
on my father's side,
Wow.
they are two completely different guys, like two completely different kind of guys. But also, growing up in England, we didn't necessarily spend that much time together when I was younger. So it was really nice that we actually hit it off here, like in the later stages. He's an amazing filmmaker, So for me, it was just like, well, yeah, fucking count me in, mate. Like,
yeah, and that part in Neon Demon was basically the movie just fucking stopped and say, "Here's a music video. Have fun." It's so fucking bold in your face. Like, shut the fuck up, listen to this. It's so good. That is why it's so impactful.
No complaints from me. It was a free music video and a fucking cool one as well. So yeah, I was very happy. Like,
and I mean, that was like one song there, but after that, I mean, I've seen everything he's done, but it was, I think the last project he's done was Copenhagen Cowboy.
Yeah.
And this time you're like scoring all over the place. It's not just everywhere. And how different was this experience? And how was your collaboration with him on this one?
Yeah, it was an entirely more immense thing. It was great. It was the first time that because I had scored like other soundtracks before that.
Yeah,
this was the first time I tried working on one like this size, with like this many people involved, and it's amazing and it's terrifying as well at the same time, because there's all these moving pieces. I ended up going to Denmark, where they were doing post-production, and sitting in the office with everyone else, and writing music in there. And suddenly it's like, Julian, we need that piece, because until we have that piece, we can't finish this scene over here. Edit's waiting for you, and then someone's waiting for edit, and suddenly you're like, shit, the pressure is really there. Yeah. So in the beginning, it was terrifying, but then you sort of get into the rhythm of it, and you're like, it's actually really exciting, and still terrifying, but also wonderful, and fantastic new experience. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Completely overwhelming experience. Yeah.
Great thing about his films is that they're mostly very silent. I mean, not a lot of people talk, and there are like moments that you're just watching images, and that makes the composer's work even harder, because each note you're hitting there is like, what is this about then? Why is it so important to be there? And it's like always in connection to each other. And it's a very hard job, actually, from both sides, from the director and the composer, to be so delicate.
Yeah, and it's immensely, because I feel exactly the same way you do. If you have these, long passages of nothing, I sometimes worry that a piece of music coming in can slap you in the face like a wet dick. And at the same time, he's like, no, surprises. I want surprises. So you're like, okay, shit. So you're trying to juggle like these kind of things. Like he likes when you push it in some way.
Wow.
So finding that balance between not hurting the pictures, but at the same time doing something that people don't expect you to do. It's a really interesting challenge.
Yeah, for that project, you were co-composing this with some other composers. How were you like in contact with them, and how is it possible to like have so many composers like this, and it all feels so coherent by the end? It was very bizarre because so I mean Cliff Martinez did, I think he did very little. He did like a tiny little thing here and there, but not so much. It was mostly me and Peter who were doing it, and we were both in Copenhagen, but he was sat in the studio on the other side of town, and I was sat over here. So there was actually next to nothing really between us, but then you would hear the other person's piece and be like, that's interesting, and then sort of bounce that back and forth. Wow.
But I think also what the Nicolas liked was actually that there was this disconnect between different sounds and different styles. Like it gave it an interesting twist, and also with the episodic format, how things can change so quickly and all that. To actually have two different people doing very different things so you can spread it out over the runtime. I would imagine.
Yeah,
he's got a plan. No one knows what it is until it's there. So
Are you guys gonna collaborate more on future projects?
I would hope so. Yeah. He works on what he does, and typically he'll call me and be like, Julian, work starts tomorrow, and you're like, okay, shit, right. Okay. So I hope so. I'd love to. I really, because he's working on something now. He's working on his next feature. So I'm really excited to see what it is.
And
hopefully.
You also worked with other directors. I mean, how was the working with them as well? And they're mostly Danish films, right? Only you can listen to the soundtracks on Spotify. I don't find the movies. It's like, I experienced the movies through your music.
Nice one. It's. I mean, I honestly, I would say I've only had only really nice people to work with. I think I've been really lucky. Like I've worked, with some Danish people, done some Danish documentaries, and I did a science fiction film for some guys in England. That was really nice to make, and lovely people as well. I'm doing one right now, which is a totally, there's no dialogue in the entire film. So it's just music all the way. And it's like symphony orchestras and synthesizers and shit. And that's lovely as well. Just really easy to work with and all that. So, I mean, they've been different people, different films, different expectations. But I got to say, I've been really lucky all the time. Never had any issues with anyone or anything like that.
No, your work is great. 2 years ago, I think I told you about this. 2 years ago, I was at a party and I somehow I got the control of the music by the end of the party, and everyone was like, when it's going to the end, everyone's like sitting around, it's like, and I was like, I hit play on the Demon Dance, and most of the people there knew that music.
Oh, really?
It was like, oh god, this is from that movie, what? And it was crazy, and the light came back to the party. It was a boost needed to that party because so fucking.
And I'm so happy to hear it.
Yeah. Your music really makes you want to dance. To feel. I mean, how do you approach your dance-oriented music? How does it start with drums, with emotion, with a structure or something? And how do you think manipulating air, something so invisible, can create such sensation for the listeners? Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, and it's so much fun to work with, isn't it? I think, of course, it depends on what genre I'm working on. But if it's my electronic music and demon dance and things like that, I think what I really appreciate about that sort of genre in general is that there's something primitive about it. You know what I mean? I mean, you can fill it with melodies and all kinds of crazy productions if you want, but I think there's just something about that beat. And then if you make the right bass line, the bass line, I think, is very important. Even if it's simple, it has to have that rhythmic sort of drive that makes you either want to dance or want to fuck or, or something like that. It's, I think it starts in its simplicity, definitely. And it has to sort of, you're not just going like this, you're going round, your head's going round, you're bouncing and sort of going in circles, you have to have that rolling feeling. And if I can get that nailed down, I'll go through a lot of pieces and just throw them away because it doesn't have that sort of momentum. If I can nail that, then actually after that, it becomes kind of smooth sailing. Then it's just expanding and fucking destroying it, So, yeah.
Yeah.
Primitive dancing.
Speaking of primitive, it's crazy that I'm in love with traditional Nordic music. And throughout the years, like 10 years or so, it's become so popular, and huge bands are getting attention. Like, I don't know, Heilung, Danheim, or so, all these amazing groups from Denmark, from Sweden, and when you listen to them, it's like they're kind of like tapping to that primitive feeling. I mean, like
Totally.
they had like bones and drums, and they were dancing to that. And instead of going to war, going to defend somewhere, going to do something huge, traveling seas, and that must be so powerful with limited equipment. You could do such things. And,
Totally.
Yeah. And what you're saying is exactly true. Yeah.
Yeah, they had, with all these sort of different like ancient folk musics and stuff like that, how you can, there were small elements still within that primitive nature. Like I find with Nordic, at least, especially if you go right down into the old stuff, there's something, I've got to find the right word. There's something slightly brutal about it, there's a darkness to it, and you can just imagine like the fucking cold weather up there, in the wintertime, and the cloaks and all that, and the rough sea and things like that, and you can sort of hear that in the because it's not aggressive, it's not in violence per se, but it's just it's heavy, it's freeing, it's like it's not, there's no filter there. Like, do you feel anger? Do you feel like powerful? Do you feel oppressed? Listen to this. It's just gets you out. And when it's done, you're like feeling so relaxed. This is crazy. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. And you're from there, and you're working on also electronic music, orchestral music. Have you ever had such a combination between the two?
Yeah. So, the one that I'm working on right now, I'll send you some stuff. I'll send you some
awesome.
some MP3s so you can get a preview.
Yes.
But that is like big symphony orchestra, so all of the strings, violins, and timpanis, gong gong gong, and then lots of really massive synthesizers and synth melodies and stuff, sort of combined together. You know what? You can be the one to tell me if it's any good. Maybe it's shit. So I'll let you can give it a listen and tell me what you think.
Awesome. Yeah.
But hopefully it's going to be very good. But this is really great. I'm looking forward to playing it and releasing it as well. See what people think about it.
I can't wait for that. All right. Let's move to the next segment of the podcast, which I'll call Penny for Your Thoughts, where I ask some deep and sometimes crazy questions to get to know my guest better. So are you ready for this?
Let's find out.
Yeah. All right. Be about a sound or a piece of music that is instantly takes you back to your childhood.
So that will be... Oh, it's crazy you're asking me this question, because I felt that just the other day. No. And now I can't remember. I know the film. It's from The Land. Is it called The Land Long Ago? I think it's called With the Dinosaurs. It's a cartoon.
Never seen it.
And it's so fucking sad. So like, it was, oh God, just even thinking about it, it's like, oof, but it was amazing. And there's one piece where I think it's a string when one of the characters dies. And it's so fucking tragic. And I heard it because I was visiting someone who had kids, and they were watching it on the TV. And I was like, fuck. Like, God, like, turn it down. Like, but incredible film. I think it's called The Land Far Away, The Land Long Ago.
Wow.
Sorry, I can't answer it better than that, but it just hit me.
It's personal for each person. Yeah. All right. So next one, a dream collaboration, living or dead.
Yeah. Well, then it would be, I think, probably Massive Attack.
Massive Attack.
Yeah. I mean, these guys, they've been doing it well. They've been doing it for so long. Like, they're still so politically active. They got their head in the right place, and they just have written some of the best music for me, ever. I fucking love that. Yeah. So not keeping my hopes up, but yeah, I'd love that.
Do you have a singer mind to like sing over your music?
A singer sing over my music. That is difficult. That is very, very difficult. I usually wrap my music around a singer.
Wow.
And not the other way around. Like, I find it very difficult to find singers to sing on my music. And I'd probably be a metal singer, actually.
Wow.
I think maybe Jonathan Davis or something like that. So then just to give myself a nice challenge and something that would be difficult to put in. But I think would actually work quite well.
So there's this song in Copenhagen Cowboy where one of these like mobsters singing.
Oh yeah.
It's so fucking crazy. You don't know if you want to cry or laugh or be scared. And it's the soundtrack album as well.
It's the Schlager piece you're talking about, right?
I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's so funny.
Can I say a quick funny story about this?
Yeah.
Because I was writing to him, and I was like, "Hey, mate, listen, can you give me some cool examples, of some Albanian pop music?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." Because I told him I was doing the song, he was going to sing on it, and all that stuff. And then he sent me back all of this really cool music, like this really high production value and all that stuff. And Nicolas had said, "This has to sound really cheesy, right? This is we're not looking for this to be like beautiful music or something. It has to be like as corniest music as you can imagine, right?" So just having to write back to him and say, "Listen, mate, thank you for sending me all this material, but I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, this is not going to be cool, man. This is not going to be cool." It's just bear with me, sing the lyrics, and just close your eyes,
God, I encourage people to go to listen to it. What's the name of the song, by the way?
You Want Job? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the process. It was just, poor guy.
That's great. All right, moving on to the next question. If you weren't making music, what other job would you be doing now?
So, I think one of two things. Something to do with cooking.
Cooking. Are you a good cook?
I like cooking things in general. Right now, I'm going through a Korean phase. Lots of spicy, really heavily spicy food and tofu and stuff. And my girlfriend, she prefers to eat vegetarian, and I eat a lot of meat. So I get meat in there once in a while, But if I can, I try to cook vegetarian for her. I'm doing Asian at the moment, but I like to do a bit of everything. I just love cooking. It's just, I adore it. So probably cooking.
Great.
Maybe a little mini restaurant somewhere or something.
Yeah. All right. Next one. A film you wish you had scored.
That I wish I had scored. Can I ask, is it because I think the soundtrack's really good, or is it because I think the soundtrack could have been better?
That's a good question. I think, no, if it is good, you don't need to score it. And that question is going to be kind of
It's hard.
Oh, no. It's all right, let's put it this way. A movie, you like it so much. You're like, oh my God, it would be so great to score this.
Okay, yeah, then I absolutely know. A film called A Single Man. The soundtrack is just so intensely beautiful. It's it's classical music, basically, but very sort of contemporary in its style. And it's a mix of
Tom Ford movie?
The what, sorry?
The one, I think it was directed by Tom Ford, right?
Exactly, yes. Exactly. Incredible film. And the soundtrack, no matter how many times I hear the soundtrack, I still end up crying a little bit. I just think it's so gorgeous. So I'm not sure I wish I scored it, but I'm very glad that I've listened to it and taken inspiration. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, next one. The most beautiful mistake you've ever made in music?
Yeah, okay. There's one that I'm really happy with. I don't know if you're familiar with Sweet Tempest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a song called White Country in there, and I was just sat there transposing the tracks to see where was it nice for us to sing, where was guitar good and all that. And by mistake, I took the vocal that she'd already recorded and lowered them. And I pressed play, and suddenly she's like, woo, 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 singing on it. And we were like, hold on a minute, this sounds fucking great. This is exactly as it should be. And the management, the record label, they were all like, yeah, no, fucking keep that. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be one of our more successful songs. So that was fantastic. Wow. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, next one. Your top 5 favorite films.
Cool. That's really difficult. I guess something like Zombie by Lucio Fulci.
Uh-huh.
One of the first 3 Alien films. I don't know which one I should choose. I like all the Single Man's up there. I would say Spirited Away, animation.
Quite diverse list.
I can't focus on anything in particular. Like, it's all kinds of stuff. And then let's get the Raid in there as well.
Yeah.
For good measure. Yeah.
Dude,
it's difficult to cook it down to 5.
Raid with your music. Such a crazy experience it would be.
Hey, Gareth Evans, give me a fucking call, man. I'd love to make music for this guy. I'd love to make music for him. Fucking hell. Yeah.
All right. Next one. What do you think music will sound like 500 years from now? You know, I always see these sci-fi films, and everything is advanced, the structure, the clothing, and the music is even worse than today, because they're like, oh man, we gotta make it different somehow, and the dancing to some bullshit has no dance element to it. Yeah. What do you think the music will really sound like?
Listen, I couldn't say for sure, but I know there's going to be auto-tuner on everything, even the drums.
Wow.
Like, it's because everything is going to be auto-tuned.
Wow.
I think, maybe people will even stop singing and they're just going to play the voice in the keyboard like a vocoder. It's really hard to say. I don't know. Do you play video games, mate?
Yeah, I'm huge.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I play way too much. Like. And it's probably it's not super futuristic, but Cyberpunk. 2077. The music, or at least the electronic side, it still sounded kind of contemporary to now, but it did have a certain like darker twist, simplistic twists.
Yeah.
That gave me a feeling that it was definitely not from now. I understood it as being from now, but it felt different somehow. I thought they did it really, really well in Cyberpunk. God, I fucking love that game.
Yeah. And I think it becomes so advanced at one point people will go back. I mean, this renaissance of Nordic music, for example. And there's always something that bring this back. I mean, Nicolas Winding Refn with Drive. I mean, 80s retro wave music. After Drive, the fucking thing changed. Taylor Swift even made her album 80s style. And then
that's true.
And then this, I hear a lot of people like listening to these traditional old Nordic music, and there's this whole like, especially with their performances, live performances, well, they dress up, and it's a whole act there. You know, it's always the past becoming new again. Yeah. I think we go back.
It's quite fascinating, especially if you imagine that there's probably going to be a whole like long line of years where the people are just going to be using AI to make music. You know, it's a bit worrying, frankly. But you know, you see what they can do already now, and at some point, people's going to be like, "Nah, it's too much work to have actual musicians in here because they get drunk and all that stuff." You know, are their own artists. But then I guess maybe at some point when people start to feel hollow inside by not actually creating anything, they might do a turnaround, and then suddenly AI is just cheap and horrible to use. And we might, as you say, go back to something completely basic. It sounds fucking great, frankly, if you ask me. I think that sounds brilliant.
I think the music made by human will kind of like go to this realm of, it has to be attached to some kind of performance in some sort of an act. And we can even use technology to elevate that. And putting on VR headsets or glasses and just going between these. Have you seen this film by Paul Thomas Anderson with Johnny Greenwood? They go to India. Janoon, the name of it's a documentary.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that, no.
So Paul Thomas Anderson, Johnny Greenwood, like 5 years ago or so, or 10 years ago, go to India, and they kind of like, Johnny Greenwood is like, all right, I'm gonna play the guitar, and some drum machine, but I'm gonna hire local Indian musicians. And they sit around, and fucking Paul Thomas Anderson is in the middle with the camera and shooting them. And it's so beautiful. I mean, when you think about it,
sounds fucking awesome. Yeah.
Alone, with just the music, you wouldn't listen to that. But once you see the movie, and then again you only listen to the music, and I remember sitting there. There was this carpet, camera was circling around, and this was directed so beautifully because the camera is always eye level, and you're just around with these musicians. You're like, there's this beautiful gathering of local Indian musicians. So that, I think, is the future with AR, VR, or something like that. And AI can't do that. You can hire some guy in India who's selling, like, I don't know, yogurt, and suddenly he's the best guitar player as well. You know,
that sounds awesome. I'm gonna watch that film. Thank you for
it's called Junun, Junun, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So that was the last one. Thank you so much, Julian. Your music is moving, badass, and full of emotion. And your personality is inspiring, loving, gracious. And I'm in awe of your art and grateful for your kindness, mate. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
Hey, mate, thank you. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm so happy you invited me on here. And let's not have that mean that we don't stay in touch. And
absolutely, we'll continue. And